Good morning, everybody. We're here at ZDT's inside of the actual, this is the party room. So as you can see, maybe you've seen many events where people line up here. We have a podium. There's a couple of signs here. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm here with Danny Donhauser, one of the owners of ZDT's. And I wanted to show you what actual raffle prizes they are. And he's going to explain to us where they come from, what parts they are, because I have no clue. But he does. So the good news is he's here with us this morning. So let's go ahead and turn that camera around.
Howdy, howdy.
Good morning. So I see the table's full. As you can see here, guys, we got a table full of goodies. I did number them, Danny, from 1 to 9, I believe.
Okay.
So, okay, guys, we're back again, and we have the actual parts in the correct order. Danny's going to go ahead and tell us exactly what we're looking at and where it came from.
All right. So I kind of gathered up some parts I didn't know what really people were going to be interested in. Nick had some suggestions about some spare parts and so forth. So kind of a demo on some of this stuff to kind of throw out there and to see if people do have interest in it. This, for one, number one, is a brake fin. So on every train, every car of the train, it has a brake fin hanging off the bottom of it. And that's what slows down the train as it comes into the station or on the brake run. So each car has one of those. This one here was used, it was from the original in 2015, came in, it was brand new, and it had, during inspection, we found during some testing, there was some fatigue on it, so it was needed to be replaced. So we replaced it during the whole train overhaul. Cool. And put a new one on it in 2019. So that's what that is. Number two is our parachute drop. It's a Zamperla Sky Tower, 15 meter. On the gondola, it has a ton of these wheels that keep that gondola rolling up and down. And they get replaced periodically. And I just happened to have this one still on the shelf tagged, so we knew. And this one was used from 2016 to 2019, and put it off and put a new one on. These little wheels are, I think, are $450 each.
Oh, wow.
No, $250 each. They're $250 each, I think. Buying them brand new. They may be $450. They're really expensive.
Wow.
This here, number three, is a fender. So during the overhaul, this was on the gold train. And it was an original fender from 2015 when it was brand new. And in 2019, it had some fatigue on it as well. Went ahead and replaced it. And we still have the old one there with all the nice grease on it. And this is a side wheel fender. So you've got your bogey on each car. It's got a bogey on each side. The front car's got 4 bogeys. And every one after that's got 2, one on each side. And on that, you have 2 side wheels. And there's fenders on each side wheel. And this is one of the fenders off of the side wheel of the bogey.
Awesome.
All right, number 4. This here, I had it, I knew where it came from. So I figured, well, maybe it'd be something cool, I don't know. This is from the project I did during the quarantine. Okay. And you'll see it on the next couple numbers for a piece of wood. But this is a side steel bolt that holds that side steel. And when I redid the track, I yanked the bolts out that I needed. And so this is a bolt that's been yanked out, that's been used since the construction guys put on in 2015. And it was the first time it's been pulled out and put new bolts on. After the track's been, the wood's been replaced. And that was on vent 163, which is right outside this window.
Oh, really? Can you show us where exactly?
Yeah. And so when we get to the piece of wood,
okay. So we're looking at
163 is right here in this area.
Okay. So
one of those,
are these numbered by railings?
Yeah, they're bent. So you got the ledger. The ledger is that big piece of wood going across.
Okay.
Then you got the 4x4s. Okay. Those are just cross ties. And then you got the big pieces of wood going across. Those are ledgers. But that whole thing, the ledger and that whole section is called a bent. Oh, okay. So that's bent, say 163, 164, 165. Understand. So each section is a bent.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you can see over there, there's a bunch more wood for other events.
Oh,
That
cool.
we'll refurbish and put stickers and stuff on, but all that wood is all from right here.
Oh, okay.
Between 163 and 175 that I did.
All that was deteriorated wood due to what reason?
Well,
do
this
you
here
think?
wasn't, this so much as it has a valley right there.
Oh,
And I
okay.
get it deteriorated, the water sat there.
Okay.
And the force of the train going into valleys, and so the valleys are typically on wooden coasters, the very first spots that you have to start putting new wood on.
understand.
Because all that weight is hitting it constantly, and that steel will sink into the wood, cause it to have a dip, and that's where you get that roughness on a wooden coaster. It's typically in the valleys where it starts.
Ah, gotcha. Well, thank you. That's
So
awesome.
you take it off, replace the wood, and so it's all level again.
Cool.
Yep, number 5.
Okay.
This is from the Gold Train. This was used on the original assembly of Switchback Gold Train. And when we rebuilt it in 2019, so when we rebuilt the train, all the nuts and bolts, sleeves, everything we pull apart, we replace it with all brand new stuff. So every time we do that, it costs us about 10 grand just in nuts and bolts to do one
Wow.
train. That's just for nuts and bolts. We get just boxes and boxes of new bolts, sleeves. That includes some other stuff, like you throw a $600 fin on there or something like that.
Wow.
So you just got about 10 grand in nuts and bolts. But you take it all apart and then inspect all the welds, and everything when it goes back together goes all brand new. These are the sleeves inside the bogie. So it's a top axle sleeve. So the top axle, the bogie, runs on the 2 side wheels. You got the road wheel and you got an uplift wheel. And that whole assembly is a bogie. When it attaches to the car, it has one big metal rod that locks it all down. Inside where that rod's at, there's sleeves. And as those sleeves wear out, or when we rebuild it, those are the sleeves out of the bogie. And it's off the Gold Train, 2015, 2019. And it's the left and right side. There's one for each side. It's a top axle sleeve on row number 2.
So is this, the bolt is around about that diameter?
That's how big
Wow.
the shaft is that goes in there that locks that bogie
That's
down.
huge.
And what we did, I wrote the part numbers down on it, just something
Oh,
neat to
wow.
have.
Thank
So
you.
that's the part number that Gravity Group tagged to this. It's a SL-02.
Cool.
Number 6 is Nick's favorite, one of my favorites as well. It's a piece of wood.
That's beautiful.
Yep, and this came off of bent number 165, which is right in that same area. It's 3 more bents down.
Okay.
And this is a spot that I did in quarantine. Most of the wood that got taken off, I chopped up and saved it for events like this right here, where we can tag it, and people always like that. So
Nice. Now the actual, I noticed it was painted, so that was obviously added
So
afterwards,
all we
correct?
did is we took the wood and sanded the edges so it didn't have no sharp edges. Put a decal, we cleared it so the decal would stick to it.
Beautiful.
And stuck our ZDT's decal on, which one of my maintenance guys, Ramon, my main guy, he actually made the decal at home with his decal machine.
Nice.
And so we did all of that in-house.
It looks great, by the way. And it's really a sharp decal. I like that.
Yeah, he did.
He did a great job on that.
He did. So the next piece is kind of like what we seen earlier. It's off of the bogie. It's your pivot sleeves. So there's also sleeves where it pivots back and forth where a rod goes through. So that's what these are for. It's also a part number on it. Same thing, used from 2015 to 19. It was the original pieces that was in the original assemble of the Gold Train.
Nice.
And that's going to be on row number 1, left top and bottom on that. All right, so the next one, what we got here? 4, 5, 6,
number
7,
8.
8. We're at number 8. This is a lift hill chain guard. So every 20 feet, as the chain runs up that trough, it's got a guard on each side. What those guards do, if that chain was to ever break, it would stop that chain from ever falling out of that trough or coming up and out. It lets that chain will just
Stay right where it's
stay
at.
where it's at, and it'll just fall straight backwards.
Oh, cool.
And that way it can't come up and get caught up on anything. So it's a safety
Sure.
feature of it.
Awesome.
All right,
And
number
then-
9.
There we go.
Yeah, as you said, these things last that long. Well, this is actually still probably fairly good. There's probably something minor with it. Probably just a little bit of bentness on it. It was being a pain in the butt. This on the back of on your lap bars, each lap bar has got 2 cylinders. We call it an A cylinder and a B cylinder. And on each of the cylinders, when it was originally built, it had these levers on it. As we replace cylinders, there's not a lever like this no more. There's something different.
Okay.
But that lever, oh, that's what it is. This is there's nothing wrong with it. This is one of the cylinders we replaced with the new style cylinder. And it doesn't need a lever no more. It's got a pull handle. So that lever pushes up against. So if you have a power outage, because it takes power a plunger system comes up to the bottom of the train that charges the cylinders, which allow those lap bars to open. So if you don't have any power, or there's some kind of issue there with the electrical, you can manually open those lap bars. Or if the train valleys or something, or you're stuck in a spot that that's not in the station, you need to be able to open them. So this is a way to manually do it.
I got you.
There's one on each cylinder, and you pull both of them, and then the lap bar opens up. So that's what that handle's for.
Cool.
And this is
That's
something
awesome.
I just added. So when we first opened up, Gravity Group had made these cards for the IAPA show in Orlando, Florida. And so every time they build a brand new coaster, they have these cards, and everyone's different obviously, but on the back of it, it has all the information about Switchback, how it came to be, all the stats on it, how long it is, how tall the drop is, everything about Gravity Group, ZDTs, about this coaster.
That's cool.
And so
it
yeah.
had
So there's a
QR
couple of
codes
these
on the
cards.
back.
Huh?
It had QR codes on the back also.
Yes,
in case
yeah.
they wanted to
Yeah,
check
yeah.
some stuff out.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah, I don't know if
neat.
they're still active or how that works, but Gravity Group put those on there. I think it was for the something about the show.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
But yeah, these were original ones from when we first opened. We were handing these all out.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Danny, and thank you for your time for all these. These are awesome pieces. Now, a lot of interest has come about. A lot of people are going to purchase raffle tickets. Don't forget, guys, it's for December 19th. It's a one-day only, and some of these parts here you're just not going to find anywhere. I mean, let's be honest, especially like the wood piece. This thing's huge, by the way. And it's is this made out of metal, by the way?
Aluminum.
Oh, it's aluminum. Okay, I was wondering why it weighed a little bit. So it's a big part.
You know what? No, it's aluminum.
It is aluminum?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it's a heavy aluminum there.
Well, that is awesome. Well, I hope to see you guys at the event. And again, it's ZDT's. It's in Seguin, Texas. And Danny will be on site, of course, along with his wife and team members here to make sure that the, all the guests are feeling welcomed here. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today.